Hello, I'm Michael McHugh, editor of Mind Food, and today I'm here with Heather Gray, who's going to show me how to make a perfect steak. Now that's actually a tough ask because I've been burning steak for most of my life. Is it hard to cook a perfect steak?
No, it's not hard to cook a perfect steak.
Why? Now you're a Silver Fern farmer, so it's easy for you to say that because I guess you've been making steak for years, have you?
Just making steak for years, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you create, or how do you cook a perfect steak? What do you have to do? Get it out of the fridge well before time?
Well before time. Let it, what they call bloom, let it come to room temperature.
And what does that, is that what bloom means?
Bloom means, and it means that the muscle in the steak actually relaxes, so it's not tough before you actually hit the pan.
So how long should you allow it out, out of the fridge before you cook it?
I think a good hour at least. And then it depends on which way you want to cook it. So there's a couple of ways that we probably like to cook. One, you can just put a little bit of oil on the steak, a little bit of salt and pepper, and cook it at a high temperature for 3 to 4 minutes each side, depending on how medium rare,
How much you want it,
how
yeah.
much you like it, depending, because we do vary a little bit in this household as to how we like our steak. Or another way that we've found that is, I think, a really good way, because we do quite a lot of entertaining here, is that we can take it, and it has been like this, it has been tied.
Okay.
So you got a nice round steak.
So that's a fillet. You've taken a fillet and then you've cut it up.
Taken a ribeye.
Yes.
Yep. And
A grass-fed ribeye.
grass-fed ribeye, which we supply to Silver Fern Farms.
Yes. And so then you tie it all, so you knot
Yes,
it.
Richard's tied it all,
Okay.
tied it into a piece, and then cut it into the thickness that
Yeah.
you want. And then, in this case, all we do is put a little bit of salt and pepper, a knob of butter on the top of them, put it in the pan, that caramelises it for a minute, turn it over, give it a minute on the other side, and then take it off. And when you take it off, let it rest for a while, then you can refrigerate it. You can do this the day before.
Oh, really? So you can do all that process?
You can do all that process. So we can have that ready, we can have a potato gratin or something ready, all pre-prepared.
So you can sear a steak the day before?
Yes, you can. And then you bring it out, let it come to room temperature, put it in the oven, about 200 degrees for 5 to 7 minutes, depending on the size of the steak, and it's beautiful.
Now, steak does need fat, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
In it? Because you often see, in these fancy pants food shows of them cutting all the fat off, but you actually need the fat for the flavour, don't you?
Flavour.
Yeah.
You do, and you need the marbling. You need the marbling in steak to make it look and taste, and it just gives that tenderness.
Okay. So, a knob of butter,
A knob of butter.
right, on each of them.
Yes, please.
So how long have you been doing this recipe for?
Quite some time.
Yeah?
It's become a favourite because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy to prepare the day before if necessary, the morning.
So, salt and pepper?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Just a little bit on each.
And what does the salt do?
Salt helps with flavour.
Mhm.
It just improves the flavour of the meat. You don't want to overpower meat, so
Yeah.
we're not great, and we don't put any other seasonings other than salt and pepper normally, except for whether if it's a whole one, we will use something else, but
Mhm.
not a great deal.
So is that
Well
enough?
done, you're doing well.
I'm actually a chef.
You're a natural.
And so that's it?
That's it.
Okay, and now when we're cooking it, do you put that
You
down?
put that down so the butter caramelizes, gives you that lovely golden skin.
And then do you put another knob of butter and pepper and salt on the top, or
You
not?
probably don't need to because
No,
it's quite
that's going to do
knobby.
its thing.
Yes.
They look good, Heather.
They look great, don't they?
They look absolutely beautiful. So how long will they need to rest then?
Probably 3 or 4 minutes maybe.
Okay, and should I cover them with tin foil
Yes, please.
and just leave them on the bench like that?
Yep, just leave them just for a few minutes.
And so what's the rule with resting? Is it half the time of cooking?
Normally.
So we did a minute each side searing, so you use that time as well?
Yes.
And then how long was it in for the oven?
5, depends on the size of the steak. So
Okay.
7, so say 3.5 minutes resting.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's easy.
That's easy.
And what would you normally serve, during midweek, what would you serve with a steak?
You could do a potato gratin or something like that because you could pre-prepare that, and perhaps some vine tomatoes or green beans or something nice vegetable with it.
Just simple.
Simple,
Yeah.
very simple, because your meat's it's the star.
And in the summer, obviously a salad.
Salad in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or depends. It depends what's available at the time. Seasonal's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Love asparagus with it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like in Mind Food, it's always about in season. We always try and,
Yes.
whatever's in season,
In
that's what
season
you
and
should
local
cook with.
is the best. Is
Exactly.
what we aim for.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't.
Okay, so 3.5 minutes. Let's say it's been 3.5 minutes. So should we cut into it?
I think
Let's
so.
have a look. Okay.
Let's find out.
All right, let's have a look. They smell absolutely beautiful. Now, in terms of, which one should I cut?
Whichever one you like.
Okay. So how do you cut? Do you cut a cross grain? Like, which way is the best way to cut that?
You cut it across the grain.
So there?
I would cut it that way, yes.
Okay. So straight across there?
Yep.
Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? It looks really good. Okay, let's try it. Here's cheers.
Cheers.
That's beautiful. You can really taste the butter or something in it, can't you? It's just so...
Butter's beautiful. I mean, butter, I think, yeah, it's a natural product. It's not, it hasn't been enhanced by anything, and it's like the beef. We don't do anything to make it any different than what it is. It's like butter. And it just adds the flavour. That is beautiful, isn't it?
It's really beautiful.
And it's juicy.
And
it's
tell me, is that well cooked?
That is beautifully cooked.
Wow.
You've passed it. You've passed your first class 101.
I've got to tell you, if I can cook a decent steak, anyone can.
So you can.
I can. Thanks, Heather.
Yeah.
So for more details on how to cook great steak or sides or salads to have with it, go to mindfood.com, or if you want to be considered as one of the Silver Fern Farms Cook of the Year, head to mindfood.com. Do you think we should have another piece? I think we should.